Good morning to you all. Blue Star High Secondary School welcomes you all to learn the definition of a term. What is meant by definition of a term? Definition of a term, it is usually an annex to a book. That means to a work, book, research paper, pamphlet, etc. Either at the beginning or more likely near the end with a list of acronyms, jargon, credits, etc. This is an important part of research paper or report is that in which the key or important terms in the study are clearly defined. So within a short term we can have a big definition and it's an understandable one. Now we are going to learn the types and functions of definition of a term. Totally how many types are there? Two types are there. One is conceptual definition, another one is operational definition. First we are going to learn about the conceptual definition. It is a universal meaning that is attributed to a word or group of words and which is understood by many people. So conceptual definition is abstract and most general in nature. The usual source of conceptual definition is the dictionary, which is the reference book of everyday language. Next we are going to learn about the operational definition. Operational definition is the meaning of the concept or term as used in a particular study. Unlike the conceptual definition, it is stated in concrete term in that it allows measurement. The usual practice when using both types of definition, conceptual and operational, is to state first the conceptual followed by the operational. Now we are going to learn about the functions of the definition of a term. It establishes the rules and procedures the investigators will use to measure variables. It provides unambiguous meaning to terms that otherwise can be interpreted in different ways. Now we are going to see the examples for conceptual definition. Alternator. It's an electric generator that converts mechanical energy to electrical energy in the form of alternating current. Then second one, power cable. It's an assembly of one or more electrical conductors usually held together with an overall sheath. The assembly is used for transmission of electrical power. Now we are going to see the examples for operational definition. First example, alternator. The same word we had seen in the previous slide. It's a device used in converting mechanical energy into an electrical energy. And then second one, power cable, the same one which is mentioned in the previous slide. It's a bundle of electrical conductors or wires to transport electrical power. Circle the term, underline the class and double underline the differentiation. First you have to circle the term. In first sentence you just see there, terrorism is a form of political violence intentionally aimed at civilians for the purpose of creating fear in a whole population. Which one we have to circle here as a term? Yes, we have to circle the word terrorism. Then we have to underline the class. It is about what? Political violence. And then we have to double underline the differentiation. You just see here, purpose of creating fear in a whole population. Next example, a sonnet is a lyrical poem made up of 14 lines and usually built on a traditional rhyme scheme. Yes, sonnet is a lyrical poem which consists of 14 lines, 8 plus 6 lines, isn't it? So, here the term, which one we have to circle? Yes, sonnet is the term we have to circle it. Then we have to underline the class. What class is this? This is the class belongs to what? Lyrical poem. Then we have to underline the differentiation. What it is? It is built on a traditional rhyme scheme. Next, third one, a browser is a software program used to look at various resources on the internet. Browser is the term we have to circle it. Then we have to underline the class software program. Then various resources on the internet. We have to double underline the differentiation. Next one, a primary is an election and each party chooses a candidate to run in the general election. So what's the term here? Election is the term. Underline the class primary. Double underline the differentiation. They have to run in the general election. Now we are going to learn the principles and writing definition of terms. First of all, make sure that in the definition you focus on what something is, not just what its effects it is used for. Next one, extend the definition so that it exactly covers what you want the reader to understand. This may mean that you will expand the dictionary definition. So, for the next class, you must come with a dictionary. Then third point, it is helpful to supplement a definition where appropriate to clarify further the meaning of the term. Then the fourth sentence, that means the fourth principles, you are advised not to invent a definition for any term which has already a clear and accepted definition in place. So, they are informing us not to invent or find any other definition for any other term. So, already it's having an accepted and clear definition with it. However, the term should be defined as used in the study or research or within the content being discussed. Then the final one. Once you establish a definition, do not change its meaning in the middle of the article or the paper. Now we are going to learn about the understanding operational definitions. An operational definition refers to a specific definition of a concept in a research study. It defines a concept solely in terms of the operations used to produce and measure it. Operational definitions help researchers communicate about their concepts. Now, example. The dictionary definition of the term illegal immigration is the migration of people across national borders in a way that violates the immigration laws of the destined country. In this paper, the term illegal immigration is used to mean non-residents who enter a country without an unacceptable passport or visa. Now, I am going to give the example for definition of terms. Commitment. It's the involvement of faculty and administrator to achieve the vision and mission of the organization. In this study, it is exhibited by an employee who takes pride in his or her organization and shows a desire to remain in the organization. It is measured by organizational effectiveness rating scale. Next, we are going to learn about the examples for definition of terms. Next word, leadership. It is looking like a very simple term, that's it. But it refers to the process of transforming followers, creating visions of the goals they may obtain, and articulating the ways to attain these goals or interpersonal relation in which others comply because they want, not because they have to. In this study, leadership was measured in terms of the administrator's supervisory skills, personal qualities and conflict management. In this study, this was measured by the organizational effectiveness rating scale OERS, section A, numbers 1 to 12. Some of the steps given here for writing definition of a term. First step, be accurate. We have to use precise terms. Example, a definition can explain what makes an object or concept unique. So here, telephone. It's a device used to talk to people who are far away. Next step, use the right level of detail. Example, microwave oven. So, which is the correct one here? The greenish answer is the correct one. A microwave is device that heats food using electromagnetic energy. But the red color is wrong. Why it's wrong? Microwave is a thing used for cooking. It's so simple. That's why we have to write it with the right definition. Next step, be objective. Here you have to use facts, not your own opinions. Here, green color is the correct answer, red color is the wrong answer. Twitter is a social media platform that limits messages to 140 characters. Next step, grade your language. Example, match the knowledge level of your audience. Given picture is the solenoid. It's a coil that converts electric energy to magnetic energy that can perform mechanical functions. Next, final step, avoid circular definitions. What means this circular definitions? Here you just see there, a lightning conductor is a device that conducts lightning. Is a circular definition. So, by using the same term, you are framing the sentence, isn't it? That's why they are saying it is the wrong one. But a lightning conductor is a device which helps us to safeguard our country from the lightning. Often you can define a term by using a more familiar synonym in parentheses. As the horse came around the corner, it started to trot. Trot means jog, run. The viscosity, thickness of the syrup made it difficult to pour. Next we are going to see the sentence definitions. More complex terms may need a sentence definition which may be more than one sentence. Sentence definitions follow a set pattern. The blue color one, this is whatever we are saying about that itself, the noun we have to write here under the name. Next, class, what type it belongs to, like that we have to write. For mercury, the class is metal. Then defining characteristics. So, mercury, metal. So, what's the characteristic in it? Liquid at room temperature. So, if we are combining all these words, it will give a meaningful sentence. Mercury is a metal that is liquid at room temperature. Like the same, fuel is a substance that is burned to produce energy. Stress is a force that strains and deforms a body. Fiber optics is a technology that transmits data via hair thin fibers. Now, some of the exercises given here additionally. A person who is out to destroy all government and order is called as anarchist. The government by the people is called as democracy. The whole mass of air surrounding the earth is called as atmosphere. One who is not sure of the existence of God, agnostic. A medicine which prevents infection by killing germs, antiseptic. One who does something not professionally but for pleasure, amateur. A statement open to more than one interpretation, ambiguous. One who makes an official examination of accounts, auditor. Marrying more than one wife or more than one husband at a time, polygamy. The science that studies plants, botany. Lasting only for a very short while, temporary. Capable of being seen through, transparent. The first speech delivered by a person, maiden. The art practiced by statesmen and ambassadors, diplomacy. One who walks on foot, pedestrian. One who lives on others, parasite. One who speaks for others, spokesperson. One who spends very little, miser. One who possesses several talents or gifts, versatile. One who eats vegetables only, vegetarian. One who looks at the bright side of things, optimist. One who cannot read or write, illiterate. A game or battle in which neither party wins, draw. Holding established opinions, orthodox. Hater of women, misogynist. The study of the origin and physical and cultural development of mankind, anthropology. The science which studies the crust of the earth, geology. The science which studies animals, zoology. Happening at one and the same time, simultaneous. Murder or murderer of oneself, suicide. The science which studies natural processes of living things, biology. People working together in the same office or department, colleagues. The state of remaining unmarried, celibacy. The action of bringing into completion, consummation. To give one's authority to another, delegate. Study of the relation of living things to environment, ecology. The action of looking within or into one's own mind, introspection. One incapable of being tired, indefatigable. A letter, poem, etc., whose author is unknown, anonymous. Work for which no salary is paid, honorary. A thing that is fit to be eaten, edible. A statement absolutely clear, explicit. A widespread disease affecting many people at the same time, epidemic. A trade that is prohibited by law, galadai. A desire that cannot be repressed, illicit. A method that cannot be imitated, irrepressible. Remarks which do not really apply to the subject under discussion, inimitable. A story that can hardly be believed, incredible. A comparison that is out of place, inapt. That which cannot be satisfied, insatiable. A person who loves money and hates spending it, miser. An ugly woman, hag. An animal that is cruel and dangerous, beast. Skillful is inventing, ingenious. Say publicly that something important is true, proclaim. To be disloyal to someone who trusts you, betray. Situation in which everything is happening in a confused way, chaotic. A drink usually made from a mixture of one or more alcoholic drinks, cocktail. A loose piece of clothing without sleeves, mantle. A painting, drawing or photograph of a person, especially of the head and shoulders, portrait. A person who is slow to learn, dunce. The path in which planets move, orbit. A permit from an authority to own, use or do something, license. A person who has been appointed or selected to attend or speak at a conference, delegate. One who does the scientific study of the sun, the moon, etc., astronomer. The study or practice of traveling through the air, aeronautics. A person trained to travel in a spacecraft, astronaut. Say a prayer in singing voice, chant. Visit a place often, haunt. Final release from rebirth, deliverance. One who is present everywhere, omnipresent. One who is all powerful, omnipotent. One who knows everything, omniscient. A silly person, goose. A person who lives a wandering life, vagabond. Social position on rank, status. Someone who knows a lot about the subject, scholar. Deeply religious, pious. A building in which monks live, monastery. An instrument used to see distant objects, telescope. A man who has too much enthusiasm for his own religion and hates other religions, fanatic. One who makes calculations connected with insurance, actuary. A country, etc., which is very distant, remote. To send out of one's native country, exile. A person chosen by parties who have a controversy to settle their differences, mediator. Notice of death, especially in a newspaper, obituary. Opinion contrary to accepted doctrines, heresy. Great clapping and cheering, applause. Exclusive possession of the trade in some commodity, monopoly. Sole right to make and sell some invention, patent. To make someone angry, grieve. Height above sea level, altitude. To shift people from a place of danger to a safer place, evacuate. To cause to feel no pain, numb. Men who work on shores, loading, unloading ships, longshoremen. Name shared by all the members of a family, surname. One who is very eager for knowledge and reads a lot, voracious. That which cannot be satisfied, insatiable. A flightless bird now extinct, doo-doo. Storehouse for grains, granary. A remedy which never fails, infallible. A thing that cannot be seen with human eyes, invisible. One who is very easily made angry, irritable. An ordinary and commonplace remark, platitude. A sum paid to a man for a piece of work, remuneration. The act of violating the sanctity or destroying the property of a sacred place, Sacrilege. To make up one's mind and change it quickly. Vacillate. A person with a long experience of any occupation. Veteran. A place where clothes are kept. Wardrobe. A state of complete continence on the part of a woman. Virginity. Space or room which is immediately below the roof of a house. Attic. A person who has been found guilty and is being punished. Criminal. A person who does banking business. Banker. A mad person is called as a lunatic. A person who is in charge of keys of a prison. Turnkeys. A person in charge of a jail and the prisoners in it. Jailer. Who one is unable to pay his debts. Bankrupt. Long hard journey, especially on foot. Trek. Have you heard trekking? Group of people living together, that is called as community. A group of soldiers living in a town or a fort and defending it. Garrison. Flesh eating animals. Carnivorous. Flesh and vegetable eating animals. Omnivorous. And then vegetable eating animals. Herbivorous. Plants of a particular region. Flora. Government by small groups. Oligarchy. A policeman in ordinary clothes while on duty. Plainclothesman. Storehouse of grains. Granary. Practice of talking too much about oneself. Egotism. The height of an object above sea level. Altitude. A person who uses his strength to frighten weaker people. Bully. A light pleasure boat. Yacht. Short stories with an element of moral. Fable. A hater of mankind. Misanthropist. A lover of mankind. Philanthropist. A lover of others. Red or yellow burning gas seen when something is on. Flame. A person who writes novel. Novelist. A document allowing persons to travel abroad. Passport. One who looks only at the darker side of life. Pessimist. One who looks at the brighter side of life. Optimist. A place where horses are kept. Stable. A type of small dog with a turned up nose. Pug. Remains of prehistoric animal or plant preserved by being buried in earth. Fossils. A place where meals are sold and eaten. Restaurant. Things given or received as gift. Present. A man who does not know how to read and write. Illiterate. A large number of people or animals suffering from the same kind of disease at the same time. Epidemic. One who travels in a space vehicle. Astronaut. A book giving information on all branches of knowledge. Encyclopedia. A living creature that is so small that it cannot be seen without a microscope and that may cause diseases. That's called as microbe. Part of the earth where life is found. Biosphere. Government of the people, by the people and for the people. Democracy. The act of killing oneself. Suicide. Soldiers who fight on horseback. Cavalry. They who fight on foot. Infantry. Strong rush of air, rain, smoke, etc. carried by wind, gust. A person who uses his strength or power to frighten or hurt others, bully. A part of a horse's harness that goes on to its head, bridle. A wild or half-trained horse or bull, bronco. A sudden rush of frightened animals, stampede. A person who flies an aeroplane, pilot. Number of books housed in one building, library. A person who studies physics, physicist. A place where meals are sold and bought, restaurant. A mark remaining on the skin from a wound, scare. Name shared by all the members of the family, surname. Making someone angry, provocate. Difficulty in breathing, suffocation. Soldiers who fight on horseback, cavalry. Things given on, received as a gift, present. The story of a person's life written by others, biography. The story of his own life written by himself, autobiography. Special quality not found anywhere else, uniqueness. To make impure by mixing dirty or poisonous matter, contaminate. A person who writes poems, poet. Animals that live in a particular region, fauna. A place in a house where food is kept, storeroom. A person who belongs to another country, foreigner. Study of ancient monuments and arts, archaeology. Science which deals with the study of living beings, biology. Science of Earth's crust and the interior strata, geology. The art of understanding the influence of heavenly bodies, astrology. To seek protection from danger, refugee. One who presides over the function, president. A manservant who serves at the table, waiter. Now we are going to see the textual exercises. A belief, attitude, theory, etc. that is referred to by a word ends with the suffix ism, ism. Here is a sentence from the speech of Dr. Annadurai. I admit that the environment is such that even people with robust optimism will be discouraged and forced to take to the path of ease and comfort. The meaning of the word optimism is the hopeful feeling that all is going to turn out well. Match the following ism words with the appropriate meanings. So we are having lots of ism words here. First one, love of country and willingness to sacrifice for it is called as patriotism. A brutal, barbarous, savage act is called as barbarism. A doctrine that your country's interests are superior is called as nationalism. Participating in sports as a hobby rather than for money is called as amateurism. Belief that the best possible concept should be pursued is called as idealism. A serious examination and judgment of something is called as criticism. Habitual failure to be present at work is called as absenteeism. A doctrine that advocates equal rights for women, feminism. Concern for your own interest and welfare, egocentrism. Exceptional courage when facing danger is called as heroism. Next we are going to learn the studies, profession. Pathologist studies diseases. Ornithologist studies birds. Entomologist studies insects. Archaeologist studies artifacts and physical remains. Sociologist studies functioning of human society. Geologist studies the matter that constitutes the earth. Linguist studies languages and their structure. Seismologist studies earthquakes. Herpetologist studies reptiles and amphibians. Meteorologist studies atmosphere, weather and climate. Fill in the blanks choosing the words from the box. Refer to a dictionary if required. This is what one word substitution. My brother buys a load of books at the book fair every year. He is a great lover of books and has a huge collection at home. He is a bibliophile. Peter always refuses alcohol when it is offered to him at parties and takes a soft drink instead. He says he always has and always will abstain from alcohol and it is a matter of principle for him. We call Peter a teetotaler. Aruna always looks at the bright side of things even in the face of misfortune. She firmly believes that everything will work out for the best in the end. What can we call Aruna? She is an optimist. The rich industrialist donated a huge sum of money to set up a public library in his native village. He is a philanthropist and a social reformer. The chairperson of our company keeps traveling all over the world to attend conferences and we call her a globetrotter. Anthony has the amazing ability to use both his hands equally well. He can write, draw and perform various other tasks with equal speed and efficiency with his left as well as right hand. Anthony is an ambidextrous. Due to some disturbing incidents in her childhood, Neetu grew into a reclusive adult. She tends to keep aloof and avoids all kinds of social activities. Neetu is a misanthrope. Tharani serves as interpreter at meetings between statesmen from different countries. She is also a much sought after tour guide as she is well versed and fluent in multiple languages. So Dharani is a polyglot. My grandparents are in their 90s. I am glad that this nonagenarian couple is active, cheerful and in good health. Richard Burton was a gifted theatre artist. He donned several roles with ease and is especially famous for the Shakespearean parts he played on stage. So Mr. Burton is a born thespian. The chairman of this concern seems to derive pleasure from inflicting pain on others. He humiliates and hurts his subordinates for no reason. He is a real sadist. Read the descriptions given under column A and match them with their correct IST words describing specialists in the various fields of medicine given under column B. One who specializes in lung problem called as pulmonologist. One who specializes in skin problem called as dermatologist. One who treats diseases specific to women called as gynecologist. One who treats kidney diseases called as nephrologist. One who treats diseases and disorders of the nervous system called as neurologist. One who treats stomach disorders called as gastroenterologist. One who treats vision problems called as ophthalmologist. One who specializes in critical infants, neonatologist. One who treats heart problems called as cardiologist. One who treats problems of ENT, ear, nose, tongue called as otolaryngologist. Some of the additional words, what it is? Achyumophobia, fear of success. Acousticophobia, fear of noise. Acrophobia, fear of heights. Aerophobia, fear of flying. Agoraphobia, fear of open places. Allurophobia, fear of cats. Alectorophobia, fear of chicken. Amnessiophobia, fear of amnesia. Anglophobia, fear of using English. Anthophobia, fear of flowers. Anthropophobia, fear of people. Arachnophobia, fear of spiders. Arsenphobia, fear of fire. Astrophobia, fear of thunder. Autophobia, fear of being alone or isolated. Bibliophobia, fear of books. Bromidrophobia, fear of body smells. Carcinophobia, fear of cancer. Catastrophophobia, fear of mirrors. Chronophobia, fear of future. Claustrophobia, fear of enclosed space. Cyberphobia, fear of computers. Cynophobia, fear of dogs. Demophobia, fear of crowds. Didascalinophobia, fear of school. Ecophobia, fear of home. Emetophobia, fear of vomiting. Glossophobia, fear of public speaking. Hemophobia, fear of blood. Hippopotamontrosis cubitasleophobia, fear of long words. Hydrophobia, fear of water. Latrophobia, fear of doctors. Mastigophobia, fear of punishment. Melophobia, fear of music. Monophobia, fear of being alone. Numerophobia, fear of numbers. Nyctophobia, fear of night. Ocophobia, fear of vehicles. Ombrophobia, fear of rain. Onirophobia, fear of dreams. Ophidiophobia, fear of snakes. Ornithophobia, fear of birds. Panophobia, fear of everything. Phasmophobia, fear of ghosts. Philophobia, fear of love. Phobophobia, fear of fear. Photophobia, fear of light. Plutophobia, fear of wealth. Psychophobia, fear of mind. Pyrophobia, fear of fire. Radiophobia, fear of radiations. Rupophobia, fear of dirt. Scolionophobia, fear of school. Scythophobia, fear of food. Somniphobia, fear of sleep. Tachophobia, fear of speed. Telephonophobia, fear of talking on phone. Theophobia, fear of God. Trypophobia, fear of hole. Vehophobia, fear of driving. Xenophobia, dislike people from other countries. Zoophobia, fear of animals. Thank you, students.